Hello lads, lassies, and those of unspecified gender, it's the Irishman here, and today I'm going to be talking about what would have happened if Goku had the Mystic form. This is the 5th part to this What If, and if you have not already seen the other 4 parts, I would greatly recommend you go check those videos out before coming back to this one. Beerus has been killed, and the 3 Saiyans training under him know exactly who did it. They can sense his energy, which is actually really shocking, not because their ability to sense it has somehow changed, but rather because his energy has changed. It's more godly. It's insane. How did Frieza acquire God Ki? Was he training with a destroyer? An angel? Well, no. As would be quickly revealed, he was actually training with a Kai, as Zamasu would step out of the shadows, striking down Goku with a single chop. The Keyblade that Zamasu had equipped over his hand would cut deep into Goku's shoulder, leaving him bloodied as well as knocking on death's door. He's not quite there yet, but he is definitely approaching it as he loses blood quick. Zamasu, although not familiar at all to any of them, does look different, at least to us, more akin to his Fuse Zamasu variant. With Beerus dead and Goku wounded, Broly would immediately call over Whis, who wouldn't actually be deactive here. Yes, Beerus is dead, but they had already set up a replacement destroyer just in case. When Beerus first wanted the Super Saiyan God, he did wake up and look for it. He just didn't go to Earth first, seeing as, well, there wasn't really much of note. Whis had said all the Saiyans there had died, and he wasn't disproven until Resurrection F, or at least most of the Saiyans there had died. Now, Beerus, having gone to Broly first, would have fought him and would have been incredibly impressed with his power, deciding to bring him back to his own planet. That way Whis could train Broly to be an even formidable rival. And this actually worked out pretty swimmingly. And after a while, Beerus decided to have Broly appointed as a temporary replacement destroyer in case he were to ever die. Then use the Super Dragon Balls to bring him back. Wish orbs that Beerus had actually grown quite fond of, realizing that they could get him out of a pinch like that. As of right now, this is the plan. A threat even greater than Beerus, at least possibly, has arisen, and so it is time for Broly to bring not only Beerus back, but also get strong enough to help the Destroyer take down this threat. And as Whis would escort the 3 Saiyans to Earth, giving them a viable escape as well as healing Goku, Frieza would make himself visibly known for the first time thus far, in his new Black Frieza form, with God Ki infused, making the purple crystals on his body blood red. Zamasu would then tell Frieza that he had done as instructed, killing the mortal known as Goku, or at least temporarily disabling him. Frieza would say that although death was hopefully not going to occur, at least for his plan, if it does, it shouldn't be too big of a bother. They are probably getting the Dragon Balls to revive Beerus anyway. Zamasu would then take off his time ring, reverting out of the Fuse Zamasu form, and giving the time ring over to Frieza, who would wear it like a basic form of jewelry. Zamasu from our timeline would have found other timelines, ones where Goku Blacks did exist, and after finding one most powerful, he would have decided to fuse with that Goku Black. Although wishing to have an immortal body at the ready at any time, he would have found a way to merge their timelines as long as he has the ring on. Meaning, if he puts the ring on, he has a power advantage. Although if he needs to make use of his immortal body, all he has to do is take it off. Now you might be wondering, why is Zamasu doing this? Why has he teamed up with a mortal? This isn't Frieza Black, this is Black Frieza, meaning this is the actual Frieza in control of himself and not a separate Zamasu. So why are they working together? Well, Zamasu, still being a Kai in Universe 10, would have continued down his role in trying to become the Supreme Kai, and seeing as this is, by all intents and purposes, the original timeline, the one future Trunks came from, Zamasu never fought Goku because Goku was never looking for the true identity of Goku Black, so Zamasu never went down his same evil rampage. Instead, he would continue trying to find out more about mortals and forming his own ideology. This would eventually lead him to finding out about Frieza, the Emperor of Universe 7, someone who had actually been holding that universe hostage for quite some time, in complete control of most everything that happened there. He was a tyrant, a monarch, as well as incredibly influential in the growth of that universe, giving it newfound technology as well as advancing it far beyond its years. Zamasu, being extremely interested in this mortal, would decide to travel to Universe 7 to meet him, and after discussing everything with Frieza, Zamasu would come to a conclusion. Might makes right, meaning that as long as you're the strongest, you are the best, and the one that should be followed by all. So, realizing that Frieza is currently, probably, the strongest mortal in all 12 universes, he would decide to follow him. And although Frieza was a bit opposed to this at first, not knowing who it was or what his intentions even were, Zamasu would quickly be able to persuade Frieza, teaching him how to accurately control his ki as well as God Ki, gaining access to an entirely new realm of power, as well as continuing to train to get even stronger with his insane potential. Eventually, Frieza would find out he has a new form above his golden one, and would transform into Black Frieza. With this new form made, it would also be equipped with the ability to fully master God Ki, all of Frieza's teachings from Zamasu going into the formation of this form. And after completely mastering all of his power, and 1 year having passed since the martial arts tournament between Universe 6 and 7, the two would go out in search of the Super Dragonballs, something that Zamasu had found out about, an incredibly powerful tool reserved for the gods, and seeing as Frieza has recently ascended into godhood, Zamasu sees it fit for him to use them. Teaching him the divine tongue, Frieza would wish for Zamasu to have immortality, although it may be stripped from him if Frieza wishes, meaning that nobody can kill Zamasu except for Lord Frieza himself. Then, as the Dragon Balls scatter, Frieza would go back to his ship with the Kai in tow. Then, after another month or so of training and making sure everything was prepared, they would set off for Beerus's planet, Zamasu using the Kai to teleport directly into Beerus's home, or the tree that he had made a home out of. Then, with just a simple few attacks, Frieza would easily murder the God of Destruction. From now on, he is the top dog. And now that you're all caught up, what happens next? Well, Frieza would look to Zamasu, before then commanding that he teleport the two of them to Earth. As the Kai does so, Frieza would fly up into the air, scouting out a nearby city, and then carving something into the very crest of the Earth, using a death beam. He is giving them 1 month to continue to live. He is allowing that much, seeing as they had allowed him to live before, and although it was insulting to his ego, well, he has to pay that generosity back, now doesn't he? So then, leaving once again with Zamasu to random planets, that way he can scout out ways to make himself even more unstoppable, potentially even learning some Kai techniques from Zamasu himself. As the rest of the gang gets their crap together, and then looks at the scene, they would realize what it means, and would immediately get to work, using the Dragon Balls on Earth to revive Beerus, seeing as Whis would inform them all that the Super Dragon Balls have already been used, by Frieza in fact, to give his assistant immortality. which isn't good, but at least the Earth has its own set, which, again, they would use. Now, with Beerus back, he immediately wants to go after Frieza, but Whis would advise him not to. Not only is he not currently the god of destruction, meaning his powers are somewhat stunted, but even if he was, Frieza would still just take him out again and again. No matter how many times he comes back, it won't be able to save him from the tyrant's unstoppable power. However, if they were to all train and collectively get stronger, then the Z-Fighters, as well as Beerus' assistants, would actually probably be enough to take down Frieza's incredible might, so they would get to work. Whis would try and formulate a schedule on how they could all train evenly enough to actually get in the maximum results, although Goku would actually say that he has another way, the Room of Spirit and Time, a way where if they were to utilize it to its fullest, they could get in 30 years of training in that 1 month. Whis would then remember that he actually has something similar to that. Not the room inside of his staff, but rather another tool accessible to the angels. A room like the Room of Spirit and Time, where they can train for 2 days in one. Although that does seem rather minuscule in comparison to Goku's idea, so they'll go with his. All of the group entering the hyperbolic time chamber, beginning their training session.